All right. Welcome, Titano community to episode 10 of Titan Talk, and where it is a nice even number, right? It's fitting to do something a little different than what we normally do. And in this Titan Talk, we have none other than Austin Patton. For those of you that do not know him, he is a really good TikToker, YouTuber, really just good content creator all around. You guys have probably seen him doing a couple little TikToks for Titano, and we now finally have got him to come here on Titan Talk, get to know him a little bit. So this episode is going to be a little different than what you're normally used to. So for those of you that are just tuning into what Titan Talk is, normally how Titan Talk works, it's something that we created where we don't have to do these super long AMAs where you just do not have the time to consume all this content and this information. So we can do it every single week, or we try to make it every single week if it's effective, and produce really good quality content for you guys. So today's episode, we're just going to sit back and have just a normal conversation with somebody else that is a content creator, because I know you guys are probably tired of seeing me all the time, right? Even though their name's Austin too, because Austin is like the best name in the world here. And we're going to get to know another content creator around this space, and just just have a cool little dialogue and just get to know them a little better. So let's see in the chats here. Let me know. You guys know the drill already. Let me know in the chats where you guys are watching from. You know, what time is it? Right here it's 9:30 a.m. where I'm from. I know some people are probably stayed up to watch this. I know some people are just now like at the crack of dawn. So let me know where you guys are coming from and what time it is. And without further ado, let's bring on Austin to the stage here. Austin, what's up, my friend?
Hey, how are you?
Good. And it's so weird to say Austin. Like
It's
it's
like
so weird to be like,
it's like AMA, but it's ANA.
yeah. See, there you go. And it's so funny because where I'm from, right, when I was in high school, Austin was a really common name. So like when we had other people around, we would just call each other by our last names. So
Mhm.
even just talking to somebody else that's named Austin, it's like it's weird I feel like I'm talking in the mirror right now. I feel like I'm crazy.
Hey, that's the best way to do it, though.
Well, welcome to Titan Talk, man. Tell us a little bit about you. Where do you come from, and really just what made you want to start creating content in general?
Cool. So my name's Austin. I'm 22 years old, and I started making content when I was 7 years old. Right. So when I tell people I've been in this industry for a decade, they're like, "You're dude, how old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 22." But I started making videos when I was 7 years old, and I will never forget. I made my first little YouTube video, and I just became instantly hooked. I was one of those people that I'm very lucky I found my passion early, right? Like I feel like a lot of people are in this limbo phase where they're not 100% sure what they want to do. And like I was just one of those people. I just found my passion very early, and I just knew I had to go full force in it, and made videos all the way up until I was a senior in high school and graduated. And nothing ever happened. Like I was at around like 2,500 subs, and 1,000, 2,000 videos later, you're like, okay, something's clearly not right. Like I'm at 3,000 subs, and I'm making pretty much 1,000 videos every 10 subs. So I went to college, and I remember I was in a college room, and I was in college for about, I'm not joking either, about 10 minutes, dropped out of college, went back to my apartment, and I pursued TikTok full time. So I made a YouTube video saying that I will be famous on TikTok in a couple months. Dude, I manifested this, and I got into the place, and literally within 2 months, I had a video break over 1 million views. And once I saw like a video over 1 million views, I mean, I instantly just became hooked. I learned the algorithm, and now I'm at where I'm at now, like three and a half years later. So.
And how did you like, because that's the whole thing, right? Especially coming from someone else that creates content, it's like finding what actually resonates with the audience and like actually makes you grow. Dude, that's like part of this, that's the secret sauce, right? So how did you going into TikTok where you were just like, okay, I'm going to blow up on TikTok, I got to do this. How did you find the niche that you best related to? Is this something you've always been passionate about? And then obviously for people that don't know you, what is your niche, and like what type of content do you normally create?
Cool. Yeah. So I first started out doing what the typical TikToker does. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of my darkest moments. Not the whole dancing thing, but like let's just say like there was a thirst trap video in there. Or
Oh no.
there was
Oh
something. Look,
no.
I was trying to keep up with the trends, right? I quickly realized that I am not cut out for thirst traps. So I started going through some different things, and I was like, the one thing I haven't seen anybody do is do anything in like the horror niche. Cause like, I'm a big avid writer. I love to read, and I've always been just like infatuated with horror movies. So I was like, what if I do something that's like a little spookier because I knew the stigma behind TikTok was it had a younger audience. And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
so what if I try something in the horror niche? Kids typically get more scared. They'll probably send it to a friend. Let me just try it. Right. Tried it. And so this is a great story. I had my video in my drafts, and I was actually leaving for New York for a family trip. So at this point in my life, I probably have about 4,000 or 5,000 followers. So we get on the plane to New York, and it's about a 2.5, 3 hour flight from where I'm at. And I post the video, and you know how you have to put your phone in airplane mode?
Yeah.
I get off the plane. So this is 3 hours later. My TikTok account is now at 250,000 followers, and my videos broke 5.5 million views.
Oh
And
my God.
this happened ridiculous. So me and my mom and my sister all freaking out, and we're walking to our hotel. We walk in to go get a drink or whatever, and the bartender takes a picture with me. Like, it was like all at once.
Just instant
Yeah.
TikTok famous.
And for a kid, man, that was just like a great thing to like, but for your, like, I think the thing is like when your own mom sees like somebody come up and like ask for a picture of you, it was just like everything came full circle. And I think it was really interesting to see my mom be able to see that in person. So it all happened at once. And then once I learned that that video did well, obviously made it a series, and every video after that was breaking 5, 10 million views. And I went from 2,000 followers to, I think I hit 2,000 followers on, like, let's just say it was like the 17th, right? And then by the first of the next month I was at like 1.4 million. So it all happened so quickly. And like that's something too that I like sharing with people is like, if you're an aspiring content creator, my golden rule and the one thing that got me to where I'm at now is I convinced myself that I was one video away from changing my life forever. Right? If you can get in the mindset that you're just one video, because a lot of people, when you think, oh, YouTubers, I got to make 1,000+ videos before I do something, or I have to post all these videos, don't think of it that way. Just think of yourself as like, I am one video from changing my life forever. And if you get into the mindset of doing it that way, everything else will follow.
Oh, I mean, I totally agree, dude. And I think that's one thing a lot of people that, especially people that want to create content. Like, I mean, I'm not huge, I only have 11,000 subscribers, but when I was getting to that stage where I was like trying to listen to my audience, kind of see what type of content that really resonates the best, and I have fun, because that's the biggest thing too, right? Is you got to enjoy the content or you're going to burn out like super quick.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was just sitting here thinking, like you know how like you do all those calculations. I know you probably did it, where you're like, if I get 10 views here and I just post 100 videos, and then I'll get the watch hours for YouTube, and then all this stuff. And it's like, you can get caught up in those numbers all day long, but just like you said, you're only one video away. And I think I love finding those. I get videos on my recommended feed on YouTube all the time, where sometimes they're just really small creators, and you'll see like they only have a few thousand views or a few thousand subscribers, but then this one video just takes off, and
Sure.
it's just they perfected the thumbnail, the way they just story told the video itself. It's captivating, and you just have to understand, and make sure every video is better. So when it comes to this, what did you do, Austin, to just maintain that level of consistency to where you're just like, like, is it something that you just naturally love to do, like with creating that? Or like, what was the main motivation? Was it money? Was it passion? Like, did you just not ever want to do a normal 9 to 5 job? Like, what was that main motivating factor?
So that's interesting because like I told you, like I always had like a passion. I always knew what my calling
Yeah.
was, right? But without like obviously I wasn't successful, right? I didn't have money. I was a broke, dropped out college kid at one point, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm eating ramen noodles every night, and I'm splitting a hot pocket to eat it for the next day. Like it was bad. So when I told my mom that I was gonna do it, like, oh my God, you should have heard the conversation when I told my mom I dropped out of college in 10 minutes to pursue YouTube. It was like it was this unreal thing. And like, she couldn't fathom it. She was very supportive of it though. And the one thing I can say was like, as far as consistency goes, I think it ultimately came to like, I didn't have a choice, right? Like, I realized I was all in. And I also figured if I was still in college while doing videos, I wouldn't take it serious because I'm like, I could always just fall back on college. Like, I can make excuses for myself, right? So
Yeah.
I felt like if I was to put myself all in, it would leave me with absolutely no choice. Like, it came down to a point where I think I had maybe 2 grand in my savings account and my rent was, $700 a month living with 2 other people. And I was like, okay, you have 3 grand in your savings. You have 700, $1,000 a month after rent and bills, after food or whatever. You have 3 months to make this work. You can't make this work. That's it. So it put me in a position to where it was like kill or be killed almost.
Yeah.
So, and I think because consistency drives motivation, right? And if you lose the motivation, the consistency will bring it back. So that is what I kept doing. So anytime like I post a video and when it would flop, like just do horribly, oh, it would put me in shambles. But like I said, I went back to that mindset of like, you were just one video away from changing your life. So once I got in that mindset, it made the workload feel a lot less. I got to have more fun with it. And then eventually it just became like second nature. Like, me and my girlfriend would be hanging out and like, I would constantly be looking at the time. I'm like, hey, I got to go film at 7. Hey, I got to go film at this time. And it just became part of my daily schedule. So yeah, that's the big thing, is consistency.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's so true. And a lot of people, when they want to do content and stuff, even with that consistency, when you do start getting some paychecks, right? Like
Mhm,
even then with YouTube, I don't know, I can't speak with TikTok, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Even
mhm.
with just YouTube, I mean, until you hit, I would say 50,000 plus, maybe even in the six-figure range of subscribers where you're getting that viewership, like it's the money isn't great. So that kind of leads me to my next question is, are you now financially like, are you 100% financially stable just from creating content where you can do it full time now?
Yeah, so it is my full-time job. I've been blessed enough to be able to make a really, really good living for myself at 22. I've worked with some amazing, amazing brands. Like, I've done a lot of work for Universal Studios, Netflix, Hulu, all of the big YouTube companies you guys see, like Raid Shadow Legends. I've been able to do
Oh,
I've been, I've been able to work with a lot of amazing brands. And the thing that has just been so great is like, me being so young, 22 years old, just like there's people now like that I know who are in college who like, they're going to school to have a business degree or whatever the case may be. And like, they might not ever get the chance to work with some of the companies I've worked with, just being at such a young age. So it's been a very, blessed thing, the best career for me. And, I'm
yeah.
hoping to continue it, for literally as long as I live. I love it.
And did you, because I know you said you had a passion, right? You started when you were 7 years old of creating content. Did you ever have any other aspirations of just being like a normal, like going to college? Because you said you went to college. Did you have like just a normal goal of, you want to get this normal job and then, like, did you have one of those, or have you just always been all in where I'm going to be a content creator full time?
It was always YouTube, but like, right, like the statistic chance that you make it on YouTube is like 0.16%. Like, it is such a low percentage because everybody wants to be an influencer nowadays. And
Yeah.
me, I was like I don't know what it was, but I just felt like I could do it. And
Right.
I just kept like, I don't know, it was always one of those things, like I just felt like I could do it. But I guess if I had to pick a backup career, it would have been doing something in the cybersecurity field. I
Okay.
always loved doing cybersecurity. In high school, I ran a web development business, so it would have went hand in hand together. I enjoy cybersecurity, I love it, but is it my number one passion? No, making videos are.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny. You're kind of like giving me like little Mr. Beast vibes in a way, right? Where
Mhm.
you know how when you listen to the story of Mr. Beast, how he was just creating content where he was just putting it back to back, and he was like, "I'm going to be a YouTuber one day. It's just a matter of when, not if."
Right.
So it's like the same thing, dude. I love it.
It
Now
was.
let's move into TikTok. So how does the money work with TikTok? Where you're like we kind of all get the structure of how YouTube works, where you get YouTube ad revenue and stuff like that. How does TikTok work to make sure you have like a decent financial income?
So if I was to use the TikTok app alone, right, I would
Right.
be the poorest person ever.
Because I
TikTok,
have heard some bad things about it.
it is worse than what people understand. So YouTube takes care of their content creator. Like, for example, let's just say let's just be very easy, and let's just say you're getting paid $1 per thousand views, right?
Mhm.
People on YouTube are making way more than $1 per thousand views. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, on TikTok, you're making a whopping 2 cents per thousand views. So and they change. Sometimes you might earn less than half a cent per thousand views. Like, it is it just varies. So a lot of people's income comes from doing brand deals. I mean, 100% of the income comes from doing brand deals. Like, I had a
Yeah.
video, or I had a month where I averaged like 150 million views that month, right? And if I would have gotten that on YouTube, oh, that would have been well over, you're a YouTuber, you would have known how
Yeah.
much that would have been.
Yeah.
On TikTok, I think
That's
I
not
got
bad.
paid like $600, right? Maybe. And then
Oh my
they take
God.
a 70% fee out of that when you withdraw to your PayPal account. So, like, it was just a nightmare. So I was like, okay, let me start getting some brand deals, and that's where I've been able to work with Universal, Hulu, Netflix, and all of them. So, but yeah, no, you have to rely on brand deals for a living, and selling merch is another thing, and all of those little side businesses or whatever. But TikTok for the views, just, it doesn't pay anything.
Well, speaking of merch, Austin did say he has interest in getting some Titano merch for his TikTok. So we're gonna
Yes.
have to get Ali Jambro. Everybody in the Discord, everybody knows who Ali Jambro is. So I'm gonna get you hooked up for sure.
Thank you.
Which this leads me into my next point, where I wanted to kind of get into crypto now. So we kind of got to we got a good background of who Austin is, a content creator. How long have you been into like crypto and just investing in general with that?
I started getting into crypto when I was 16. So my
Okay.
first ever investment was in Ethereum, and I got it for $12 a coin. And
Woo!
dude,
That's good.
I don't want to talk about it, because let's just say
Oh
16-year-old
no.
Austin needed $500 and sold everything, dude. I mean, I'm talking, like, at one point I used to own like 300 Ethereum. Like, I was I was just, I needed high school money to go buy
Dude,
movie theater tickets.
I so relate to that, man. So back in I think this was 2016, 2017. Okay,
Mhm.
this was when Coinbase. I still remember this. I was new in the military. I was starting to get into. I think right at the time I was just investing into stocks, and I started hearing about Bitcoin on the news. How it's about to hit $20,000, something like, or it just hit it. I don't know. It was crazy. And Coinbase only had three things: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they just came out with Bitcoin Cash.
Uh-huh.
And Bitcoin Cash, I was like, "What the heck is this Bitcoin Cash?" And if those of you that don't know the whole lore of crypto, Bitcoin Bros and Bitcoin Cash, it was like this rivalry, right? And Bitcoin Cash just came out, and it was like super cheap. And even now, if you were to buy back then with Bitcoin Cash, you would have still made a decent profit. And I was like, I should just at least put a few $100s into this, just like how you said you had a lot of Ethereum. I
Right.
was like, oh, I was like, just at the time, I was like, I should have bought it. I should have bought it. And then, over the years, it's like, Coinbase is now this place where you can get all these different cryptocurrencies. And then, with Bitcoin Cash, I mean, it went through the roof at one point. And I was like, man, yeah, I think we all have that story. I think we all have gotten into crypto with like, either we start out with Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that. And we're just like, we regret it because we sold it for something crazy.
Mhm. But
Oh
see,
man.
you gotta have those stories, though, because without those stories, you wouldn't know where good projects lie, right? Like,
Exactly.
if you don't have like oh my God, like, I should have just kept it, then, I mean, honestly, are you even in the crypto space? Like, you gotta have like at
You
least
got to have it. It's like a rite of passage,
a story.
Yeah. So all right. So you got into Ethereum.
Mhm.
Now let's move into a little closer to now, where when did you start getting into the DeFi space, where you need to go a little farther than Coinbase to get these tokens and stuff? When was that?
So I had a friend of mine named Andrew, and he texted me, and, like, I'm gonna be honest, I was one of those people, like, I never understood the DeFi space at the beginning, right? And so when he told me, there's more to life than just Ethereum and Bitcoin, And I was like, no way. Right. So he showed me coinmarketcap.com. This is not sponsored. This is the real story. But he reached out to me. He was like, yeah, dude, like, I'm going to put you on with a couple projects, like, just kind of see where you lie. So this was, when I was 18, so 4 years ago, and or whatever. And he was showing me how to use like Pancake Swap and all of this stuff, and it was just like completely foreign to me. Like this was something that I have never ever known about. And I remember when he showed me it, I was like, it's like you're like investing in the stocks before they hit big, right? And I had some luck there. I had some not so good luck there before, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of what the DeFi space was like. So I would credit that to my friend Andrew.
Yeah, and that it's funny you say that. That was the first thing I ever personally did with DeFi was Pancake Swap, where I remember I seen a video on YouTube and it was like buying into cake or something. And I was like, oh my God, what the heck is this? Because just like you said, it's either Bitcoin or Ethereum. And you're like, you mean to tell me I'm about to put my money in something called cake and it's going to earn me a 50% APY? Like, and I'm coming from real estate because, I was still like, I was heavy into real estate. And it was just like, dude, none of this is crazy. And even just explaining this to my friends, my family, my girlfriend, it's like, dude, I'm buying cake,
Right.
and it's like, dude, it's crazy. So yeah, it's so funny. So now leading up to now, you're getting a little bit more familiar with DeFi. Are you making like a decent like income from just DeFi alone? Like, are you like, what's your whole investment philosophy with crypto?
My investment philosophies always came into like, just invest in projects you genuinely believe in. And if you're in for the long term, stay in. I've learned my lesson. I tried the whole day trading thing, right? I tried to
Mhm.
do the get rich course that you see on YouTube. And then I just came
Yep.
down to a point where I was like, dude, I'm not gonna like I'm in a decent position already from social media. I was like, how about I just put money in something? If I genuinely believe in it, it'll work. Like think about this from a 4 or 5 year aspect, 10 year aspect, like because that's how I got to a point where I was like, that's how stocks work, right? Like you're not going to just magically wake up and the stock's going to hit $1 bazillion and you're rich and you have 10 Lambos. I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find a couple projects I really genuinely believe in and throw some money there and then just see if they work. And that's kind of what my strategy's been. Maybe not the most effective strategy, but it's the one strategy that I know that I can rely on myself and I can know that, hey, I invested in projects I genuinely believed in. So
Yeah, and I tell people this all the time. Even though we're sitting here on Titan Talk, right, where it's a lot of about Titano and stuff, but I still try to be real with people. Like DeFi and in general, it's like you're just kind of like taking a bet on the team, and it's extremely unregulated. It's just this wild west where every dollar that you should be putting into DeFi should be risk capital, where you just imagine it being gone
right,
because it's a casino. And even then, we don't have a lot of like history, past performance history to back up the claims of what these projects are. You're just taking a bet on the actual team. So it's
right,
kind of like angel investing, just like how we see with Shark Tank and all these other projects where it's like, I'm going to put in some money and I'm going to bet on the roadmap and see if you can follow through with the roadmap.
right.
So I totally agree with that, and I think that's what everybody should be thinking about when it comes to investing in this type of environment. So I'm curious to hear. So you kind of told me a little bit about your crypto side of things. What's your investment philosophy in general? I'm talking real estate because you did tell me off the camera you just bought a house.
Mhm.
Real estate, stocks. Like how is Austin as an investor overall?
So me and my roommate, who is now named Andrew, coincidentally, we are going to be getting into more real estate this year. I've always so when I was 18, I got my real estate license. Never did anything with it. I just kind of wanted to say I did it. And
Yeah.
me being the youngest in the room got a lot of attention. And I was like, but I remember while I was there, I got to see what not to do. Right. Like I saw a bunch of people who were there to be there, and I was like, I got a chance to learn about real estate and how the market works. And I have a great mentor as well for this. So starting in December, we're going to start buying up some properties and just kind of diversifying our assets a little bit because,
Yeah.
having a lot of money in the bank has just completely been like, it's kind of a waste of money, right? Like it's just going to sit there. It's going to depreciate, inflation, the whole nine. I was like, why don't we get together, me and you invest on a couple properties and just kind of see where this takes us. Like, so real estate is definitely up in the upcoming future. Stock market, stock market's always usually a safe place to go, especially if you're gonna do like the S&P 500. I'm definitely, I'm 22, so I'm learning the ropes. I'm kind of seeing, where I like what my favorite thing is. But so far, I can say my number one investment was going to be real estate. I genuinely love everything about real estate.
Yeah. And I'm glad to hear that, dude. That's some good Austin. You're carrying on the name really good, because
Of course, you have to.
dude, and it's so crazy, right? You say you're 22. I'm 25. I just turned 25 a couple months ago, or last month, and
Mhm.
it's like right around when it's so weird, right? Because I'm usually the younger one where people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're so young," and now I'm like, back in my day, right? So
Yeah,
back in my day when I was 22, it's like that's right around the time when I was starting to do real estate, and it's crazy. So yeah, dude, real estate is absolutely. And when I tell people about comparing something like DeFi to real estate, when I say the past performance history, I'm not talking 2 to 3 months. I'm talking years and
right.
centuries and decades. And one thing that is just tried and true is real estate. And then when we talk about something like, just a DeFi project, even just 2 years, that's not enough information to make something what's called lindy, like something like real estate would. So
Mhm.
now let's get into more specific Titano questions. So how long have you been specifically with Titano.Finance,
I
like
think
investing in it?
I think April around March. One of those two. I found Titano from literally just browsing on YouTube one day. Like I was just on YouTube. I can't remember whose video. I saw a video about Titano. I went to Twitter. Just started looking at people, and I was like, "Oh crap! They have a Discord server, right?" And I remember my roommate at the time. We were like, "Yo, like I'm gonna check this out." I remember I sent him a text message, and I was like, "Yo, there's this thing called Titano. I'm like, we should check it out, whatever." He's like, "Oh, they have a Discord server." And he was like having a little bit of issues figuring out how to buy it. And I remember we're in this Discord server, and it's going to kill me, but I cannot remember their Discord username. They stayed up like 2 to 3 hours just helping my friend buy Titano. And I was like, dude, that doesn't happen. Like, just somebody random, like, spending 2 to 3 hours of their own time showing you how to buy Titano. Like, and it wasn't a crazy amount at first. Like, I think he was buying like $50, $100 worth. So, like, whoever that was in the Discord server, I hope to God they're in here. But that completely was just like insane to me. And I remember when we first joined the Discord server, that is the one thing that made me really, really appreciate Titano. Aside from all of the business stuff or the coin itself, I was like, this has a genuinely like amazing community. Like, there's not many people who would spend 2 to 3 hours of their time at 3 a.m. helping somebody buy, crypto, right? So I remember when I first saw that, that was like my first taste of the Titano community.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's where crypto and DeFi is so small, right? Even when you look at any of these DeFi projects, I mean, we're just small market caps. And if you, like you said earlier about the stocks and stuff, where you're getting in, it's like kind of getting into these before stocks go mainstream. It's the same thing. You're investing in super low cap stuff. So the community is extremely, extremely important in projects. And I think that's what could easily make or break a project, is if you just have a crazy community that, toxic, all that stuff, but super helpful, like what you just said, Austin. Yeah. So when it comes to this, what is your goal with Titano? Like, is this like a long-term hold for you? And if so, like, do you have a plan on, like, I'm going to take X amount of money a month in income? Like, do you have a strategy in mind for Titano and how you're going to tackle it?
As of right now, I'm just kind of holding. Like, I genuinely believe in the project, and I'm just going to continue to hold it. One of the things that Titano, like, I've always expressed this, like right when I reached out to David to really talk about Titano and like what I was able to bring to the table, I noticed that there were some people in like the partnership section. And, when I shot this out on a complete limb. Like, I was like, this community has a bazillion people. There's so many people wanting to work with Titano. I'm just going to leave it in there and just forget about it. And David got back to me. And I think the one thing that stood me apart from other people wanting to work with Titano is like, I didn't give him the loop around or the run around saying, I can do this or I can do that. I told him, I was like, listen, man, I'm not in the business of fads, right? I got this thing with TikTok. I'm not in the business of fads. I'm in the business of building brands. And I was like, what I see with Titano is you guys have the community. The number one thing about building a brand is having the community behind it. And I was like, you already have that. You have people who are extremely helpful. I think I can show you more on a social media side, showing more brand awareness. And I think because I didn't give him the typical, I'm a big TikToker, I can do this and I can do that. I think that showed a lot of honesty and trust in me. Is like, I was like, I could easily make, 50 videos saying Titano's the best, Titano's this, Titano's that, have tons of new people flooding in here, but they'll probably be gone in 3 days, right? I
Yeah.
told him, I was like, listen, I want to come in, I want to show what Titano is all about, and I want to help you build the community and help you build that brand awareness, right? And I mean, they love the idea of it. I gave them a little roadmap right when we first started working together about what I was able to, like, what I was going to do for them, and that was kind of the start of all of us working together. So
Yeah, and when it comes to like building that plan, right? Because I'm really curious to hear like the content side of that as far as like what you bring to the table versus someone else or whatever. So, what do you think? What would you have to say to people that are like, what can Austin Patton do
mhm.
as far as bringing value to Titania with TikTok versus some other TikToker that maybe has millions of followers? Like, what do you think that you have like that unfair advantage of, like that you're just super good at versus someone else?
So my content has mostly been storytelling, right? Like I write a
Mhm.
bunch of my own horror stories and I'm able to portray them in viral video format. And I think the one advantage I have above other people is I'm an amazing storyteller. I can tell you somebody's story and I can tell it better than they probably can. So, and I think that's the one thing, whoa, excuse me. I think that's the one thing that I have advantage over other people is I know how to format a story. I know how to tell people, explain things the right way. And I know how to portray Titano in a way that other people can respect, even if you've never heard of the project, right? Just telling a story about the community. Like, for example, the story I told you about the guy staying up until 3 a.m. Regardless if
Yeah.
you invest or not, that's something that I mean, that's just a good act, right? That's somebody helping somebody they've never met in person. And I think that I have that advantage over other people is I'm able to tell stories and, really be able to portray my point.
Yeah, and I think like as far as content goes, especially in the finance side, like me talking about because how I do things, I don't just talk about crypto. I talk about my entire journey of passive income. I talk about real estate, my dividend stocks, what I'm investing in, all that. I talk about how much money I'm making through crypto, and it's like if I were just to come on here, click the record button, and just be like, "Hey guys, I made $50 a month. All right, no, you know what I mean? Like you got to create a story and you got to make it interesting and entertaining, and to a certain extent you got to like really sell why people should invest their time into you versus somebody else talking about how much money they make. And it's just such a there's so much that goes into just one video, and that's why I love talking to people like you that create content that you got to acknowledge that. I'll see
Right.
so many people where they want to create content around finance and money and stuff, and it looks like I'm watching a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
So I was watching your time when I first ever heard about Austin Patton. I was looking at TikTok and stuff, and that's exactly what I pointed out on because some people were like, you kind of create content around, like the scary horror stuff. How would
Right.
this fit in line with something like Titano? And I was going through, and that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like this dude knows how to make anything sound
Right.
like I want to sit here and watch this, right? And especially with TikTok, it doesn't matter what content you have. You have to capture that attention. You got like what 30 seconds to a minute
Yeah.
where you have to literally make sure that you can capture every single second that you can so that way you have that retention so that more people can watch that. So, dude, like I think you have perfected the storytelling, and I need to take some tips from you on how I can how I can
Yeah.
capture that retention rate. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
I totally agree, dude. I think that's such a undervalued thing that most people don't think about.
And that's my whole strategy with this, working with Titano is like, I understand, me making a video talking about APY and this and that, it might not be the most interesting thing to a lot of these people, right? Because it's a
Yeah,
very niche down thing. But what I have mastered is my other videos. And the way TikTok works, especially in the niche that I'm in, is when I have one video pop off, all the rest do. I mean, they follow. Like I have people who, especially some Titans in the chat, like when I first, it came out that I was working with you guys, dude, I was flooded with Instagram DMs saying like, I want 3 hours of my time back. I just watched all of your videos. Like I watched one, got so hooked to it, and just watched all the rest of them. So that is kind of the way I'm working with Titano. Is I want to make Titano feel like a common household name. And I'm going to continue doing my content that I'm doing now, as well as these videos for Titano. And the videos that I'm doing now will, like, those views will trickle down onto the Titano videos, which will, in the end, you'll have more people feeling familiar with Titano, and they'll get to learn a little more about their story, and hopefully they'll join the Discord server and meet somebody nice like I did when I first joined. So that's really my strategy going into this. Is, like I said, I'm in the business of brand building and brand awareness. I could easily make a viral video talking about Titano and doing it in some way to get a million or 2-3 million views. But that's the one thing I was expressing to David so much. I was like, listen, like, I know how to help you. I know how to do this. You just got to trust me. I've mastered the short form content. So short form content is the hardest thing in the world to do. A lot of people believe making YouTube videos is like extremely hard because you have to keep their attention for 10 to 15 minutes. This, you literally have only 2 seconds when people are swiping. Like, not even kidding. It's 1 to 3 seconds you have to capture their person's attention to make sure they watch the rest of that video. And it's so easy to just click on another video because all you have to do is just swipe down, right? And I have mastered how to capture people's attention in the first 1 to 3 seconds, right? So when you watch my videos, now that I'm telling you this, you'll see the cool lights behind me. And those lights are not there to look cool. Those lights are there for a strategic purpose, right? You're on the For You page, you're watching content on YouTube Shorts or whether it's TikTok, and right when you swipe down, you see these magical, glowing lights behind you. All of it is done in a strategic manner. Everything I say is typed out in a script, and I make sure that I can fit everything down and condense it into 60 seconds and just give you the most action-packed content that you possibly could have, asked for. My big thing is leave the viewer knowing more than when they came in. And always leave the viewer, especially if I'm doing a series, leave the viewer wanting a part 2 immediately. I have one of the highest follower, like, if I have a series, right, on average per series, if the first video does over 2 to 3 million views, I know I have a mega hit. And on average, I'll do 10 videos in a series. And out of those 10 videos in a series, I'll probably gain about 1.6 to 1.7 million followers. But then I might go a couple months without gaining, a whole bunch. But I know that if I do it strategically, everything is done in a way that is like properly handled. And that's kind of my whole goal with Titano is continue doing what I'm doing now and watch the views trickle. And it's already starting to happen. It's happening earlier than I even expected. The views. So I had COVID for a while, which has kind of put everything back, but we're back on track now, right? COVID wiped me out, man. I was sick. I was throwing up. And David and them were awesome. They were cool about it, but it's already starting to happen. Like, I posted 2 videos already and they're at 100K views, like collectively, right? That's 100,000 views in just 2 videos. So imagine what I'm able to do within a year span, right? And especially after I post regular videos and those views trickle down. Because if you go take a look at my profile now, you won't find one video under 300,000 views. Right. And it's just, or maybe an exception. I know there's somebody going to be out there. There's maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, but most of the time, like my average is 300K views a video. So if you go and scroll down a couple months, you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. I've had some videos that did, 20K views in a day, like just did flat out horrible. And I revisit them in a couple months and all of a sudden that one video is at, 2 million views. Like, it's just the trickle effect. So that's really my goal with Titano.
Doesn't it make you, and this will be like my last question around content, but doesn't it make you a little like jealous when you see like content creators that they've been in the space for a while, obviously, and dude, they just turn the camera on, they talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about, no editing, and they get millions of views. Like, have you there's this guy Penguin Zero, Charlie, that's what his name is, Penguin Zero, and he just talks about all kinds of crazy stuff, man. Thumbnail just is this generic image, and it's
Right.
like, yeah, and they just go on. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like I wish I could do that. I wish I could just no editing at all.
Yeah, like what you're mentioning is actually something that is attainable for, even like, that goes back to Titano. All of that
Yeah.
is just brand awareness, right? Like how
Yes.
well can you get your audience to watch, regardless of what you post, right? And
Hmm.
that is just a strategic thing done. And that will start to happen with me eventually. Like I think it already could if I really posted a video from my phone. But like I'm a big person, like quality over quantity, and that's like always been my goal. But yeah, no, like if you brand, that's all about brand awareness. Like, hey, if you see my face, oh, let me just click that video. You know, that's Austin. Like, let me check him out. So yeah, dude, you keep at it, and you'll be the same way, man. I got hooked on your videos.
I appreciate that, man. Well, we got about 41 minutes here, and like I said, I try to keep these at least at max an hour. So, is there anything else that you would like to tell? We got 78 people watching right now. That you think would you just want to make sure the audience knows about Austin Patton?
The one thing I want you to know about me is I'm not your typical, like, it's going to sound a little egotistical, but I don't want it to come off that way. I'm very confident in what I'm able to do. I'm one
Yeah.
of the top 500, I think it's even 250 or something, influencers on TikTok in the entire world. I have mastered the creation of short form content. Like, if things don't look a certain way, like I posted a video and it's at like 40K views versus my other average. If things don't look a certain way, don't be scared or think something's off. That is done in a way that I know what's going on behind the scenes, right? I know the trickle effect, like I mentioned earlier. And by the way, somebody said one of my nicknames from, yeah, that's funny. Austin the General Patton chat. That literally was one of my nicknames. But so like, don't, I've mastered this. I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the entire world. Like I am a very, very skilled in what I do for short form content. And yeah, I just want you guys to trust me when I make these videos. This is going to be a long-term partnership. Like this is going to be something that I don't see going anywhere. Everybody's relationship is just flawless, like on the front end and the back end. Like everything here has been great. The one thing you guys could do to support me, because this is creating content, is, the next time I post a video about Titano, I'm sure they'll link it in the announcements, is, just give it a like. And one of the biggest things on TikTok is watch time, right? Like how well can somebody watch something? So, or how long? So the next time you see some content, check it out. And like, oh yeah, actually we can talk about this now that you pulled it up. So you see the crypto market one that's 57.3K views.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you see the one next to it, not the one that has 91K views. That's a pinned one. I don't know why that's popping up on desktop, but 31.7K views. You see the one over to the left as well.
Gotcha. Yep.
So the video directly to the left of that one, how many views does that one say?
You said to the left
So
or right?
the one that says 31.7K over right there.
37. Yep, this one.
Oh no, one more over. So like the one that says like crypto money explained. Do you see that one?
Oh yeah, Oh, hold up. Crypto money explained. Yes, this one right here, 31.7. Got it.
Yeah. So that video was posted like 2 days ago. And then the video I posted yesterday, or maybe the day before or whatever, that video is already, literally 500,000 views. So you can see that the trickle effect is going to work. It's already happening, right? And I think that's the cool thing. You guys are getting to see exactly how my strategic plan is going to work, right before I tell you it. I'm like, you guys are going to see the pre-execution phase, right? So the first video I did for Titano did 57K views. The next one did 31.7K. And then I was like, let me post my regular form content to give you guys an idea of what's going to happen. And I mean, literally the first time I post a video, 500,000 views broken, right? And it's already, the trickle effect is already starting to happen. So you guys will be able to see that firsthand and be able to experience that. So it's going to be kind of cool now that you guys are in the Titan Talk. I'm telling you kind of what my strategy is. And you guys will see literally in the next coming weeks, like, oh my God, that kid's right. Like he really showed us. So, but another thing I wanted to mention before I go that I think is a good thing about me is like, I'm one of those people that like, I'm not going to BS you, right? I'm not going to, give you the runaround. I'm going to tell it to you like it is, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think a lot of people respect that. And I just want you guys to know that everything behind the scenes is flawless. I know there's some people who have relationships like with other companies and they're not so good in the back end, but in the front end, they look like they're the most phenomenal relationships. These guys have been genuinely the best people. Like me, JD and David all were in a conversation, like right when I got in for like 2 hours long, just kind of talking about my story and seeing if I was a good fit for Titano. So all of the relationships here are just perfect. They're great behind the scenes. And yeah, I just want to let you guys know that. I feel like I'm gonna start rambling, but before I go, I want a hoodie. I want a hoodie immediately.
Oh, I'm gonna hook you up, bro. I'm gonna hook you up.
I
I'm
need
gonna
it.
hit you up with LA Jam, bro. And then people were asking about the links. Yes, I will be putting the link in the pinned comment right as soon as we end the stream here. I'm gonna share my screen one more time. This is Austin VRO. If you search that on TikTok, Austin Patton, and then also on YouTube, he has a YouTube channel here, same username. So make sure you go follow him and subscribe to him. He does really, really good content. We just talked all day about how he does everything, and it is really, really good. So again, Austin, thank you so much for coming on here, giving your time. I know you're a busy dude. I couldn't even imagine being in the position you're in. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure you guys having me. Shout out to all you guys in the chat too. Did not go unnoticed. I was reading it the whole time, including the ones that made me laugh.
Absolutely. We got 85 viewers. I know a lot of probably 90% of you guys watch from point A to point B. So thank you for donating your time, investing your time into us, and especially on this Saturday morning. So thank you so much once again, Austin.
Sure thing, man. Absolutely. You guys have a great one.
Absolutely. You too. All right. See you later, Titans. I will talk to you next week, next Saturday for Titan Talk, where we will get into with David and John, and we're going to be talking about marketing and stuff like that and get into the nitty gritty of that. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Have a wonderful weekend.
See you guys.